sure that you also have a ring clamp around this system to make sure that nothing falls apart. Your fluted filter paper, you want to just take a regular piece of filter paper. Yours will be a little bit bigger. Fold it in half and then fold it in a quarter. Now you're going to kind of fold it like an accordion. So you're going to fold a small piece over and then back. So you're going to continue doing this until the entire filter paper is folded. And you'll come out with something like this. Okay? So then you'll put this in the filter system, and that's what will be being steamed. Once your compound has completely been heated, you'll want to filter it through this hot filtration, and you want to make sure that it's a fast pour. You don't want to slowly pour it in. It's based on gravity, so you just want to, swirl it and pour really fast, okay? This allows minimal amount of compound and solution to get stuck on the flask as well. Then you'll let gravity take over and filter out the solution for you. You're going to want to make sure that you keep a little extra hot solvent to pour into the beaker or into the flask that you just poured your compound out of. You want to wash the flask with a little of that hot solvent, maybe once or twice to make sure you get everything. You want to use clamps in order to not burn yourself. Putting the flask on a book will help it cool down more slowly, and this will help the results turn out better. After it's cooled to room temperature, you want to put the flask in an ice bath. This will allow the crystals to completely crash out. With those crystals, we'll filter them through a vacuum filtration and then allow them to air dry. This is their apparatus you'll have set up to vacuum filter. You want to make sure that this knob is connecting the tube to the top of the trap. And the side of the trap is going to be connected to the yellow, which is going to be turning on the vacuum. You want to turn the knob below here to turn on the vacuum. Alright, now after your crystals have crashed out, after they've been cooled, you're going to pour your crystals into the vacuum filtration. You want to make sure you wash your flask with DI water in order to get all of the crystals out of the flask. You may have to do this a few times. Once you've vacuum filtered your crystals, you want to make sure you transfer everything into a clean watch glass. Then, to expedite the process of air drying, you'll put the watch glass in the oven in order to dry faster. You can leave it in there for about 15 minutes. Once you've taken the melting range of your pure compound, let's say you find your range to be 125 to 127. What you'll do is you'll look on that chart given in your lab instructions, and you'll test a mix of 1-to-1 ratio of the compounds right below and right above that range. So if there's a compound that's 124 melting point or 125, you'll mix a 1-to-1 with your compound, and then you'll do the same for 127 and 128. So you'll mix them on just filter paper right here, 1-to-1 ratio. Mix them up and then pack it the same way you packed it before. You'll put it in the melting point apparatus and heat it up to find the melting point. What's important to note here is the compound mixture 1-to-1 ratio with the compound that it is will continue to have the same or about the same melting point. There'll be no depression. However, when you mix it with a compound that it isn't, so either the lower or the higher one, then you'll have a severe melting point depression. And that's how you'll identify your compounds. To be more efficient, you're going to want to take 3 melting points at a time. In the first one, you can put the 1-to-1 mixture of your compound with a compound that's melting point is slightly below. In the middle, you can put your pure compound. And on the right, you can put your 1-to-1 ratio of your compound with a compound that's slightly above. This way, you can take all 3 melting points at once and see which one is closest to your product. You can see the solid through the lens. And you want to take your melting range, remember, when the solid starts to melt. And end your melting range when it's completely melted. You'll be able to tell by looking through the lens when this range will occur.
Now that the solid has turned into a liquid, note the temperature at which the end point and the starting point occur.